folks, welcome in. It's Shannon. Today I have a bit of a cold, but we're going to work on a vision board. Specifically, we're going to work on a vision board for my stories journal. What's a stories journal? Well, it's basically where I'm going to keep track of my reading and writing for the years. So, let's flip through. I have future logs, playlists, some space to describe writing and reading retreats, a works in progress list, this cute little cart of star ratings. Each little book is going to get a slip of paper. Prompts, recommendations, a Xenon, my DNF graveyard. Forgive the tombstones, they didn't turn out quite like I expected. TBR by genre. I'm going to put a literary bucket list in here. And then we get into 2024's wrap up. So these were the books that I read and the stories that I worked on. These are the books I read for my book club. This is a summary of For the Words, which is my writing game. This is Rillium, or the Magical Readathon. This was my accomplishments for the year and my favorite matrix, where I figured out that Starless Sea was my favorite, Gideon the Ninth was my second favorite, and Beyond the Sugar Sky was my third favorite. These were all the books that I read in 2024. I'm very proud of them. And this is my reading wrap, which came from an app called Fable. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. In 2025, I have kind of this opening page and then my goals. I want to get my 8-year wings in For the Words, read 25 books, and then participate in various reading challenges and readathons. This is my bookshelfie and writer's stats from my game. Here is where I'm going to keep track of my book club reads. This is the Goober challenge, which I'm doing for this year. Basically, there's 2 flowers that are prompts. You pick one, and then you put the flower into the blank space. So you get a bouquet by the end. Accomplished list and favorite matrix for later in the year again. And then we're into my dashboard for the winter season 2025, after which there will be reviews and notes and eventually a stats page. So that's kind of my vision for my stories journal. But the real vision is going to be this vision board here. So let's get into cutting up all of the pictures. I chose most of these pictures off of Pinterest. The quotes that are visible should have authors most of the time. Love is That Wilt comes from Jacqueline Carey. Yeah. And as we're going, I can talk through some of why I chose these pictures and what they mean to me. These were basically from a Pinterest board that I've done for several years, actually, called Know Who You Are. And it's kind of my favorite images that bring me back into myself, basically. So I figured what better way to kind of vision myself as a writer and reader than to use my Know Who You Are. So most of the things on here come from various stories that have meant a lot to me, but some of them are just ideas for the future. Like that woman braiding her hair just seems so badass to me, and I would like to be her one day. Next to that, you see the books with the candles, and that's just like the vibe that I have when I read. But then next to that, you've got the 10th Doctor standing up in a theater with the words "like a boss" across the front. So some of it is aspirational, some of it reminds me of my favorite stories, and some of it is just favorite things of mine or favorite quotes. The one I'm cutting out right now says, "Write clear and hard about what hurts," and is from Ernest Hemingway, which I strive to do in my stories. Can be a little bit vulnerable, but we're working on it. Yeah, so let me know if you catch any of the references in any of these pictures, or if you have questions about any of them. I'll try to call out the stuff that I see as I'm going along. Most of these 3 pictures, so the cat sniffing the sunflower, the dog bounding into the ocean, are just favorites of mine and kind of the spirit I want to have as I approach the world. But the one on the right is a reference. Let me know if you get it. Might be a little hard to see, but you can always pause and zoom in if you're curious. If you figured out what it's from, let me know in the comments below. And tell me some of your favorite stories. What do you really love to read and keep coming back to over and over? This picture here is some fan art of Morpheus or Dream from the Sandman series. I was cutting really carefully, you can tell. Next up, we talked about Love as Thou Wilt being kind of one of the, I don't know, commandments in Kushiel's Dart. Kind of the philosophy that Phaedra follows. And then this is Moana meeting Te Kā. And I just think that is one of the most epic moments in a story that I've seen in a long, long time. So yeah, it's kind of a collection of things. I guess it literally is a collection of things. It's a collection of images. But like I was saying, they come from stories or their favorites or they're aspirational, basically. So we're just finishing up cutting off the first page. Now you can get a look at the second page. Let's stretch. Time to keep going. Yeah. My favorite video game of all time. They're in the top center. Let me know if you know which one it is down below. There's a lot more favorites on this page and vibes. I think the only other quote is the C.S. Lewis quote, Courage, Dear Heart, from Narnia. Oh, that's not true. The little picture of the hand that has the ruler on it is a reference to V for Vendetta, specifically the movie. I haven't read the comics, actually. But there's a character in V for Vendetta that talks about the last little inch of integrity that we have, basically, and that means a lot to me. So, I think most of the rest of the things on here are just favorites, like daisies and strawberries. Daisies, strawberries, and tea. If you know me, you probably know at least one of these things is dear to my heart. So, this little girl with the t-shirt is kind of my summary of like who I am in the world, I guess. I don't know. Kind of the way that I want to be perceived and included in things. And then you can see just some cool pictures over on top of the girl that's screaming, which I love that picture of the girl just like screaming. It's very related to kind of how I felt inside as a kid a lot of the time and couldn't really express except in the books that I was reading and the stories that I was writing. So, a nod to my inner kid, which, if you know, is going to be a big part of this year. I'm going to be doing a challenge to take myself on 50 play dates with my inner kid. So, if you're interested in that, let me know. I would love to make a video about it. At least one video, maybe more. Yeah, if people are interested. Okay, I think there's just these last 4 to cut out, so we're getting close. Hopefully my voice isn't bothering you too much, but if it is, you can always mute and just watch for the vibes. After this, we're gonna just in real time go through the process of putting down the vision board. So if you're wanting to, you can grab some of your own journaling supplies and journal along with me. You can collage with me, you can vision board with me, whatever makes your heart happy. keep thinking we're almost done with cutting, and then there are a couple more images. So bear with me. Hopefully this hasn't been boring. While we're finishing up the last couple of photos, feel free to gather some of your journaling supplies, because we're going to work on making the vision board next, and I'm not going to speed it up. I think I'm going to just leave it for you, and we can body double if you want. You can grab your stuff, you can vision board, you can journal, you can do whatever you want to do that's creative and kind of flowy for you. Fun Shannon facts. Strawberries are my favorite fruit. Always have been. Always will be. And then that middle picture is just a painting I found online that reminds me of a little bit older, when I was like a tween maybe. And I love to swing. I always did. And I've always loved sunset. That kind of dusky, twilighty time is a favorite of mine, which makes sense, because that's the part of the day I was born in. And then this last one is that inch of integrity that we were talking about for V from Vendetta. Cool. I think that's it. So we've got all of our images. At this point, feel free to kind of just journal along with me. I don't know if I'm going to talk as much during this part, because there's not as much to say. I just kind of literally throw stuff on the page and see what sticks. There's a lot of rearranging and fussing with glue sticks, and I don't know, but it's a meditative process, I think, making a vision board and kind of putting your energy into it. So grab some music if you want, grab your journal, and just enjoy. back, friends. We're about to put down the last photo. Or image, I guess. They're not all photos. Yeah, I think about putting one more thing in and quickly decide that it's complete, which is just the way of things sometimes. So, let's clean up the work area. I didn't make that much of a mess on screen anyway, but you can't see the pile of paper cuttings that are off to my left side. Don't worry, it's not a problem. Oh, you can see a little bit of it actually. Anyway, so I just wanted to kind of pour my energy and my intention into my journal to complete the time with this vision board. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you have some time to set vision for 2025.